almost immediately awed by her. In the space of about 15 minutes, I decided to become an engineer. She was my gifted math teacher in 6th and 7th grade, but she didn't only teach us math. She introduced us to 2 coding languages and taught us several interesting engineering projects and taught us a lot of the organization and note-taking skills that we still use today. She's instilled a love of math and engineering in nearly every single one of her students and encourages most of her girls to pursue careers in engineering. She taught us so well and effectively that most of the first quarter of my honors algebra class was a review of what we learned in her class. She has been one of the most influential and amazing people in my life, and I'm thrilled that she's being recognized for it.
On my first day of my first class in engineering, so many years ago, I walked into a room that was filled with probably 100 to 125 students. And as I looked around the room, I was stunned to see that only 4 of us were female. At that point in time, as I looked at my peers and my colleagues, I knew immediately that there were a couple of things I needed to be able to do. One of them was I had to be really smart and work really hard. And the other was that I had to be really strong. Because being one of such a small number of people like me in such a large group was kind of intimidating. I was good at math and I had a lot of confidence because I had had amazing teachers. But there is this sense that you always have to prove yourself. And that can be an intimidating place. At a certain point in my career, I transitioned into being an educator because I felt it was the most important thing I could do to change the numbers of women who pursue careers in STEM. As an electrical engineer, I am one of about 10% of the population of engineers. Roughly 10% of all electrical engineers are female. That was the statistic when I started out, and sadly, that statistic is about the same now. So I felt that the most impactful thing that I could do as an engineer trying to encourage other young women to pursue engineering was to go into the classroom, to give them different kinds of experiences, to let them discover the wonders that are engineering. And when I went in, I thought the most important thing that I would teach them, other than to do math really well, was to be strong, because I felt that was something that was essential in my work as an engineer. My students taught me, though, that what I needed to teach them was not so much to be strong, but to be brave. To be brave enough to not be perfect, because perfectionism is paralyzing, and mistakes are how we learn and grow. To be brave enough to try new and different things, because coding a video game or making a motorized toy or figuring out how to get robots to graph a system of linear equations is hard. But it also opens up whole new worlds of possibility to them. To be brave enough to persevere, because anything that's worthwhile eventually is challenging. To be brave enough to be different, because we all know being the smart kid is not necessarily what kids want to do when they're in middle school and they're trying to fit in. So I spend my days with amazing, amazing kids. I do it for the girls, but I get to see it in the girls and the boys. And I see amazing acts of bravery. Bravery that we don't celebrate because it's seen as so small, but the courage to stick with things and to try new things and to not give up. And I feel so lucky. I have the best job in the world. I get to spend my days seeing Haley and Evie and so many other amazing young women discover not only that math is amazing, but they are amazing at math. And to then consider the possibility of becoming engineers and doing things that will change the world. So I have the best job I could ever have. I thank the foundation and all of the sponsors who have done so much to make this possible, and I am deeply humbled to be here among such incredible, incredible company. Thank you.